when people talk about the 73-9 Golden State Warriors, they're going to tell you. They're going to tell you, Saru, about Steph Curry's unanimous MVP.
Yes,
they're
sir.
going to tell you how the hell did they lose from 3-1 up in the NBA Finals. And they're also going to tell you how did they add Kevin Durant to this team. Okay?
Hacks.
But this is a safe space, and we're not going to talk about these three things. We're going to talk about the 9 games that they lost that make the Golden State Warriors, Steve Kerr's team, look human. Okay?
Hater mentality.
Okay? We're doing it. We're doing it because they didn't lose a lot of games this season, and I just want to take a look back and see if there's anything we can learn from it. Okay? If there's anything from this that we can see translated to the postseason, if there's anything we can see from this Golden State team, and maybe look at teams right now and say, hey, they might have given these guys a run for their money. Obviously, they would have lost because this is, as I say, the greatest regular season of all time, one of the best teams of all time. But let's take a look.
Fair.
Let's take a look. So we've gone back. We've watched the 9 games.
We have.
Saru, the first game they lose. Who's it against?
It's the Bucks. It's on December 13th, 2015. I've got the date here.
So that's game 25 of the season.
Yeah, so they went on a 24-game run, 24-0. First things first, like the biggest thing I noticed is Giannis's jump shot.
Yeah.
It looks good. What happened?
It looks good this season. It hasn't for quite a while.
Like, no,
But
not even like
it looks
good.
smooth.
It looks pretty.
Okay.
Like, you know when we look at Klay Thompson's jump shot and go, oh, that looks like a pretty
I
jump
thought you were
shot.
about to say a girl's name, and I was like, we're not ready for this level.
No. It was such a nice jump shot. And I think that's actually what, broke the Golden State team. It's that they seem to struggle when they have 2 bigs.
Okay.
That's a theory.
No.
I'll put it there.
It's a theory that I'm happy to validate, but we'll get into that.
I think it's 2 bigs, and especially if one big can run the floor.
Okay.
And that was Giannis. It also helps when that player is a stretch 4. And look, Giannis at that time was a stretch 4.
Yeah.
I want you to believe that.
And look at the NBA back then, right? 2016. Paint the picture. 10 years back, spacing was optional.
Yeah.
It was optional. Yeah. It was much more optional than it is right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the way that I think a lot of the games played out. But I think we saw it first with the Bucks. The other thing that I only saw with the Bucks, which I didn't really see with the other teams, take it as it is, they straight away double team Steph and Klay from like the 3-point line. They were happy to take that. Like, if they were able to blow past and get the easy layup in the paint, they were happy with that. They were like, yeah, we'll live with that.
Okay.
But just don't shoot threes.
Okay. So they shot less threes, I'm guessing, last year?
They shot less threes.
Okay.
Which, yeah, I think, does it work? I mean, it worked for them and they won the game. In the overall sense, who knows? I don't know why more teams didn't try that.
Well, we know why teams the next season didn't try double teaming these guys.
I mean, that's a different story completely.
Well, I know we have a safe word. We're not going to say his name, but that happened.
Yeah, so that was very interesting to see, and this was like pretty much get go. Like this was in like fourth quarter. I don't know. Steph's on like 25 points. He just stops no, none of that.
Yeah.
It's just straight away.
So they lose their first game 25 games into the season.
Yeah.
What do you think the vibes are like in the dressing room that day? Do you think they're angry at each other, or are they just sitting back having a laugh?
No, they were definitely disappointed. Like, you know when you see after the game, and there are games that I saw where they were like, they were taking the piss.
Yeah.
But this game, I feel like they were actually sad. They were like, damn it, we lost. Because it wasn't just a 24-game streak. It was a 28, I think, because
Going from the last season
before. Exactly. So they were actually disappointed with this. They wanted to win it.
I understand where you're coming from, but what you said about 2 bigs, I think is so spot on.
It is.
It's something that I wanted to get into. Next couple of games that we sort of looked at, we're looking at 3 out of the 9 games because, it's the NBA. We talk about all 9 games. We're going to be here for 3 hours. It's going to be a Golden State podcast. It's not a Golden State podcast. It's Lockdown Sports.
Yes, sir. Okay. We have the same colors, kind of.
We do. It's a bit, We might need to change that. Loss number 2 that I wanted to go through was against the Portland Trail Blazers. Now, I forgot how similar these two teams played. I forgot that it was the Splash Bros and there was Splash Bros Lite.
Yes.
Okay? Because Dame is doing his thing.
Oh,
CJ McCollum, I know he's a piece of shit now for the trade negotiations for the player association.
Yeah.
As well as just the way he plays, he's a net negative. But back then, man, this guy played with enthusiasm, spark, and joy, and they were very good against this team.
You know, when I watched that, the
Mhm.
first thought that came to my mind is, how did the front office screw this up?
Did
Do you think if they put a more competent team around those Splash Bros Light,
Mm.
that's a team that could have done a lot more?
Yeah, I think one big would have helped, obviously. One big,
100%.
yeah. But, yeah, there's so many teams that you can say this about. And it got to a point where the loyalty for CJ McCollum, they were like, no, let's try this without him now. Let's try this without him
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Let's
But
build
that was a
like
lot later.
Yeah, that was a lot later. It wasn't
Yeah.
in their primes, but it was about finding the defensive pieces next to Dame and letting Dame be a one-man wrecking machine.
Yeah.
And these two guys, the way they played was so reminiscent of how Golden State played, because they love playing off the ball.
Exactly.
They love setting screens for each other. And CJ McCollum is doing that a lot, and Dame's doing that for a lot. And when they're screening for each other, these actions back then are unguardable. Unguardable. You're making Steph work on the defensive end. This game was really level until the third quarter. It was about like a 4 or 5 point game most of the way through the first half.
Yeah.
But the third quarter, and this was the other trend that I picked up on that Golden State struggled with, turning over the ball. So
Yeah.
this quarter, right, hear me out, they've got 13 turnovers just in the third quarter, okay? And it's not even the ones that you expect with a Steve Kerr team where they're just swinging the ball, trying to make 30 passes, a very European style of basketball. It was none of that FIBA shit. It was simple shit like inbounding. Steph was bouncing the ball off his foot. And the reason why? This was the first game after the All-Star break.
Yeah, it was.
So Steph, Clay, and Draymond come back, and they just anytime you get over 20 turnovers in the NBA, I think it's a recipe for disaster, and they end up with over 25, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that is a quiet killer for the Warriors, because that's what I've heard. Warriors turnovers hurt them and might quietly be the biggest killer. And I think that was throughout the 9 losses.
Yeah.
The common factor was the two bigs, but also the turnover.
From a logical standpoint, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You're talking about teams running them off the 3-point line, preventing the three. They're not even shooting the ball in this case. I've got a photo for you here. Look at the scorecard from the game at this time. So this is the fourth quarter, guys. Portland's versus Golden State. Look at how big the score difference is. It's about a 20, 30-point game.
You know that's because of one man, right?
Who?
Damian Lillard.
Damian Lillard.
51.
But what I want to tell you guys about this game, Steph Curry doesn't play the whole goddamn fourth quarter. Steph Curry doesn't play that fourth quarter, and this is the fourth quarter where Dame gets his 50 ball. And it's one of the most shameless things I think he's done in his career. It really is.
No.
They're up 20 or 30 already.
Hey.
This is the old school NBA. You're not that worried. Steph didn't play the whole fourth quarter. This was shameless. I respect it. But I have to acknowledge how shameless Dame Lillard was on this night.
No,
I-
you have a chance to go for 50. You go for 50, okay? I don't.
It's not a chance to go for 50. He was on like 33 or 34 going
and he
into
was
that quarter.
cooking. He was actually hot that
The-
whole game.
He was hot. CJ McCollum was hot. And the last thing that I guess we'll sort of touch into the next game. All right.
Yeah.
San Antonio Spurs. Okay.
big one.
Game 69 of the season.
Yeah.
This is a matchup that is notorious for Golden State. I think they hadn't won in San Antonio for the last 20 or 30 years. That
Yeah.
came up as I was watching the highlights. And this idea that you said about two bigs dictating play. So you have Liao and you have LaMarcus Aldridge.
Yeah.
Okay. Two big bodies, and LaMarcus Aldridge makes Draymond look so small.
Yeah. They
Andrew-
didn't have a center that game. 'cause
Andrew Bogut was out.
Injured. Yeah.
Andrew
yeah.
Bogut's out, so you don't have your traditional center. Kevon Looney was also out.
Yeah.
He was also like a rookie freshman at this point. And you just can't stop them. You just can't stop them in the paint. And if Giannis's jumper, you're saying, was deadly,
Yeah.
LaMarcus was automatic.
Exactly.
From the pick and pop, deep twos, that sort of Kevin Garnett game. He was so easy going about it. And the one thing I noticed about this game, I'm watching the highlights here. I get to about 6-7 minutes into highlights. I'm like, hold on. Why is the score still like 40-38 or some shit? Both teams, so low scoring. The game ends, I think, about 80 apiece. About 83-79 at the end. And that fourth quarter for Golden State, they score 14 points. in the fourth
Yeah.
quarter. And if you had to ask me, how do Golden State lose games? I would not have been able to tell you it's turnovers. I would have told you what happened in this game. It's the shooting variance.
Yeah,
It's
Steph
a
was
shooting
cold
variance.
that game.
Steph is really cold. The Splash Bros go 2 for 19 from 3.
Yeah.
And they shoot 1 out of their first 12 threes
Yeah.
in the first half of the game. So if you, like we complain all the time with Boston right now,
Yeah.
how is a team going to lose a game? It's their own volition. It's because they're shooting too many threes
Yeah.
and they're not in a rhythm. And nowadays they've got Jimmy Butler, so they don't. They have that double-edged sword, I guess.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Again, these are regular season games. At the end of the day, in playoffs, there's no way they're going to go 4 games cold. I mean, that's literally what allowed them to.
Look, I'd sit here and agree with you, but that James Harden Rockets game where they don't shoot a 3 for about
Hey, that's a different.
38
That's a
minutes.
James Harden situation,
I
not
don't
a
know.
Golden
I
State.
don't know.
situation.
I think you're
That's
being a
James
hater.
Harden
I think you're being a
situation.
hater. But the other losses I had to the back end of the season, they lose to the Lakers, and they shoot 4 out of their 33 pointers this game.
See, do you? So when we were walking in,
Yeah.
Param asked me, "Did you enjoy watching all of those games?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I'll discuss it because those games were not what I enjoyed because they were taking a piss take out of that.
Yeah.
There was a lineup where there was no Draymond, no Steph, no Clay. They were just running nobodies onto that thing. I think Iguodala's injured as well.
Yeah.
So they were not taking that game serious. And this was a point of the game where it was scores were even. So it wasn't like it was a blowout. None of this situation. So those games were not enjoyable because they did not go home and felt sad. You know, they were just completely happy with it.
Okay, yeah. It's the back end of the season, last month of the season. When you've
Yeah.
nailed down that spot, I'm sure Cleveland will do that this season.
Yeah.
They're the first team
Yeah.
to qualify for the playoffs already
Yeah.
in the start of March, so I think that will slow down. But what I want to do now, we talked about the ways they can lose these games.
Yeah.
I want to look at what all the modern teams, the current teams in the NBA at full strength, which team is on your mind that would give these guys
I thought this.
trouble?
I thought
Which
of this.
team would give these guys trouble? Assume Kyrie and AD are healthy and alive.
Yeah.
Which team would give this Golden State, this 73-9 Golden State team, the most worries?
I thought about this actually while
Mhm.
watching the games. OKC.
OKC.
The current OKC team.
OKC.
With Chet and Hardenstein. I think
Mm.
that's the two big formula.
Okay.
I think that works. I think there's again another thing we saw was the paint points kind of thing. The Warriors conceded so much in the paint.
Mm.
Shea could go get some drives in, get to the free throw line. I think that works.
Okay. Okay.
I can see that.
The team that was on my mind was actually Dallas because you talked about two bigs. I'm looking at AD and Gafford, and I think
Are we
just at full strength. Just think about it. I know we only got 10, 15 minutes of that shit, but
yeah.
just think about it
yeah.
at full strength. I like that team.
Yeah.
The team that I think a lot of people would say would be like a Cleveland because they've got both the outside threat
yeah.
and the inside threat. My only concern with that is I'm looking at Bogut, I'm looking at Draymond. I think they could hold it down against Mobley and Allen. I think I
so
actually
too.
genuinely trust them to offset that enough that it's not such a weakness in their game.
I think so too because they're not too much of. Let me get this right. Mobley, yes, he does, but he does not run the floor as much as I think Chet can run his own play.
Yeah.
So I think that's what edges it. But I can see Cavs. I wouldn't argue against it.
I'm almost tempted to look back and see what some of those Pelicans games against the Warriors are looking like.
Yeah.
Because DeMarcus Cousins
Yeah.
and Anthony Davis, I think that on paper sounds like the most
Yeah.
frightening matchup
Yeah.
for this sort of team. But there is another genre of player that I think this team struggled against. It was a player that could genuinely just put it on the floor. CJ McCollum, those type of players that are really shifty, like Darius Garland's in the league right now, even
Yeah.
a Trey. If they were on better teams, the guys that create their own flow,
Yeah.
I think they would have a significant impact. The way I want to run through this though, I've got the tier list up. I want to
Okay.
rate every team's chances of
Okay.
making
Okay.
a playoff series against Golden State actually,
The 73 and 9
competitive.
Golden State,
Yeah.
just to be clear.
Yeah.
guys. Yeah.
So I've got different categories. I've got they can actually do it. They can beat this team. I'm happy not to put any teams there. Let's not
Yeah.
offend any Golden State fans.
Yeah.
Let's not insult the game of basketball. I've got 7-game series, 6-game series. Then I've got Bums and then Bums Plus as the.
Okay,
as the-
so
as
we're
the
looking
dark
at a
red.
playoff series. This is not a
Yes.
single game.
Yes.
Okay.
So 76ers Bums Plus.
Yeah, we're not beating them.
Thank you, thank you. Washington Wizards Bums Plus. Atlanta Hawks. Do you think they can take a game with Trae Young? No. Is that not even one game?
Nah.
Okay. The Cleveland Cavaliers. How many games can the current day Cleveland team take away from the 73-9 Golden State?
I think they can go up up to 6.
Okay.
I want to say 7, but I'm still a bit
Yeah.
wavy on the Cavs at the playoffs there.
But
Like I haven't seen this Cavs
For
team
me?
in the playoffs.
for me, it's 5 because and they're losing in 5. They're losing in 5. Just
Almost.
getting ahead of the rumors.
Yeah.
Because Donovan Mitchell and Garland are going to be running so much. They're going to be
Yeah.
running more than they ever have in a game before. This is prime Steph and Clay. An inch of space they're shooting, and
Yeah.
it's going in. I can't see them lasting physically
Yeah.
on that court long enough.
No, I agree with you. I don't like. I think they have a chance,
Mm.
but I think still 6.
Okay.
I think they'll get
Okay.
6, but
Detroit. Do you reckon Detroit takes a game?
the current Detroit team,
Mm.
no. no
Okay.
way.
All right.
They're with us.
I'm shooting.
Sorry. I'm so sorry, Jono. I'm so sorry.
Indiana.
No.
No, not even one game.
No.
Not even one game. Not even one game with Tyrese Halliburton looking
No,
there, looking
no.
away, still passing
No.
there.
No.
No. Okay. Milwaukee. You talked about two bigs, Saru.
Yeah. Okay.
How much do you believe in two bigs? Because they don't have that much of an outside threat. Dame Lillard is not the Dame Lillard that we
Yeah.
watched from 2016.
Yeah. At least 5.
Okay, we're going 5. We're
Yeah.
going 5. Toronto, Bums Plus, the Mavs at full strength. I genuinely think this is the best chance. They've got Max Christie. They've got the guard that is happy to run. Who is essentially the
Okay,
Dellavedova. They've got
We've got two.
They've got Kyrie.
We've had too much about Max Christie. Even 6, I'm a bit. You've still got to consider the injury side of
Okay,
things.
okay.
You think Anthony Davis is
Okay,
playing all 6
okay,
games?
Okay. Interior domination. Denver Nuggets. How well does a
Oh,
Nikola Jokic team do against Golden State? I've got my answer.
Believe it or not, I think 7. I don't know.
I had 5 because I think Golden State would just force Denver to shoot from outside.
I mean, Michael Porter.
All right.
It just depends on how. I think
This is your list, so
Yeah. No, I'm
7
I'm
games.
gonna get 7.
That's
I
crazy.
think- I just think Jokic in the paint controlling is too much of a
Influencer on the game.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Even though
Yeah. Memphis.
5. I think 5.
I was tempted to say 4.
I'm going to give Ja Morant a little bit more
Yeah.
fight in him.
Yeah. Minnesota.
Oh, the way they're going.
4.
4. Yeah.
4. Just imagine Randall posting up against this team that wants to play quick. The Spurs. Full strength, yeah. Full strength, yeah.
I'm going to go say 5. That's purely because I don't even know what they would do when they see Wemby.
Okay. Utah, Bums,
Nah.
the Clippers. Does old
Oh,
man
wait.
James Harden take a game?
And Kawhi Leonard's playing as well?
Kawhi's playing,
Are we
but he's
talking
just
about
bad
prime
now.
Ben Simmons as well?
No, we're talking about today's Ben Simmons.
Okay.
Whatever that looks like to you. Maybe that is prime Ben Simmons.
That isn't prime Ben Simmons. 5. I think they take a game. If Kawhi, I'm always for Kawhi.
Phoenix. I think this is 4. I think this is the easiest 4. They are not a team. They're a time bomb.
Like, see, on paper, that's a really good team. And I think they could steal one game. On paper. On paper.
Okay.
Now,
okay.
if what's happening, yeah, probably.
Please, in whatever TikTok we make out of this, please kill him because the Phoenix Suns today cannot beat the
Yeah.
73-9 Warriors in a game.
You think they would steal one game?
Nope.
You don't believe on
Nope.
Kevin Durant?
They can't guard.
But one game, though.
They have Draymond,
KD
Iguodala, and Bogut, and Clay. They're not worried about KD. They're not like these other teams.
Katie Book, Bradley Beal. One game.
Don't even say that third name. Portland Trailblazers, bums. Sacramento, bums. The Knicks. I have more faith in the Knicks than the Suns.
One. They'll still one. So
Okay.
five.
5 games.
Yeah.
5 games. Okay. The New Orleans Pelicans.
Nah. Oh, is Zion playing?
Yeah, Zion is playing.
Oh, nah. Still no.
Nah. Charlotte, bums. Houston. One of the best defenses in the league this season.
I think.
Do you rate them?
No. The reason why I don't rate them is because I think the Rockets work well for how it is right now,
Mm.
but I don't think they'll do well against the 7-3-9 Warriors. I don't think they'll win again.
That's not a hot take.
That's a hot take, or maybe it's not a hot take. But I don't think they'll win. I think they'll win.
Not even one game.
No, I don't think they'll win one.
Look,
game.
man, Dylan Brooks, Armin Thompson
Yeah,
running off
no.
those screens.
No.
I think they can defend them. Whether they can score is a whole nother question. Miami will not win a game. I'd just like to put that out.
Yeah.
We don't have any intention of winning a game against this team. Chicago bums. Brooklyn bums.
Yeah.
The OKC Thunder. Now, you said this was the team that has the best chance of
I
beating
think
them.
they do. I mean,
You reckon they're going to beat them?
I think they can go up to 7 and potentially beat them.
Okay. Do you reckon they can beat them?
I think they could.
No, but I'm asking you to put your balls on the line here and say something. I don't want to hear maybe. I want to hear yes or no. Command.
No, they can't beat them.
Okay.
I think they'll go to 7,
Okay.
and they have the best chance.
Can today's Golden State Warriors beat the set? No.
I think they'll go
No, they won't.
5.
Whatever you're saying, they wouldn't.
With the run they're having with Jimmy, you think they can't steal a game? I think they can steal
But
a game.
they've got they've got Iguodala and Draymond, and they've got
Yeah, I
everything
know,
they
but
need.
I don't know. I feel
I'm
like
not
it's still one
watching
game.
Pods and Moses Moody face off against Clay and Steph Curry.
I don't know. I feel like you should give them more credit.
I don't know. Boston. Now, this is a team that we did not mention once. They have the option for 2 bigs. They've got Pawsey. They've got Horford. On the perimeter, they don't really have that dribbling threat. They do have JT and JB, who are wings, but 6?
Yeah.
Okay. This is disrespect. You know when
But
when Boston wins the title this season, they're gonna come at us for saying we don't think they're good enough to beat the Dynasty Warriors.
Honestly, I'll live with that.
Okay. Okay.
Boston win the titles. Probably
Okay. The Luka LeBron Lakers. How many games would they go in a series against Golden State? The 73-9 Golden State.
5.
Well, no respect.
Okay, we consider this as 40-year-old LeBron James.
Look, I'm gonna say a couple of things.
Okay.
You can match the Golden State vibe. You can go small. You can go LeBron at center. You can go can go Luka at power forward. And then you can have 3 guys that can't shoot the ball, but now you match them in size. You can run, chase after them. And Luka and LeBron scoring threat, bro, how are they containing this?
No, honestly, one of the biggest things while watching the Golden State games that I really enjoyed seeing was the hustle.
Okay.
Draymond's hustle. Everyone was hustling hard. And the one thing the Lakers will get very easily outperformed is the hustle. Luka does not hustle. LeBron does not hustle. I've seen
It's Nico Harrison, ladies and gentlemen. He's back.
Yes, sir.
Back from the dead.
But they will not chase after rebounds. And I think in the offensive side of things, Draymond's getting every offensive rebound and just putting it back.
Look, I trust LeBron. I was going to say more than most men, but
What were you going to say?
a lot of men trust. I think 5 or 6 is on.
I think 5. I think
5 or
they'll
6 is
steal
on.
a game.
Okay.
But no more than a game.
Okay. There you have it. And the last team, Orlando Magic. Nah.
Maybe in the future.
Let's see. I don't really believe in them. The worst team at shooting the 3 ball in the modern NBA. I don't have high hopes for them. Before we wrap up, Saru, this is a new format.
Yes,
We're
sir.
doing the mental health check at the end of the video because it doesn't get views, so we don't care about it as much as we used to. I have to put it out there. But can you tell me your mood this week in terms of a basketballer?
This is weird, but I'm going to go with Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like it's lock-in time.
It's lock.
I mean, I hope Tyler Hero is thinking lock-in time.
It's always lock-in time for Tyler Hero. He's going to get traded every season of his life.
I think it's lock-in time. He can take over the franchise, and I think I can take over my productivity, thinking about buying a Pixel tablet as I told Prom. Time to lock in this week and
Okay.
get some stuff done.
Okay, get to Office Works.
Exactly.
Get that shit done. My NBA player comparison for my mental health right now is Evan Turner. Evan Turner. Now, Evan Turner, there's a clip of him.
Okay.
There's a clip of him talking about how he was, Iguodala talking about how he was never meant to be a top 5 pick in the NBA, and it wasn't his place. So it was a case of mistaken identity almost. Okay. And I feel like, with this zebra background, Shreyas is now using this podcast studio for his whatever red pill shit they do. I am not a lion. I'm not a gazelle or whatever is happening. I feel like sooner or later we're going to have a case of mistaken identity where people think this is a red pill podcast. And I'd just like to get ahead of the rumors.
No comment.
No red pill. No blue pill. No, whatever pills you guys need, take them. But I'm good here. I'm good here.
No comment.
I'm good here.
I may know the people.
That's fine. That's fine. I mean, you can still have a say.
That's okay. But sure, I can see
You're
that.
not acting like a lion right now.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
All right. Sarah's crumbling. Anyways, fellas, if you like this sort of video, you're going to get another one next week and one the week after that.
Yeah.
We're covering cricket. We're covering soccer. We're covering basketball. It's going to be the most random video every week.
Yeah.
Every week. But stay tuned.
Stay locked in.
Ciao.